Once I was 7 years old, my mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. It was a big, big world, but we thought we were bigger, pushing each other to the limits. We were learning quicker. By 11, smoking herb and drinking burning liquor. Never rich, so we were out to make that steady figure. Once I was 11 years old, my daddy told me, go get yourself a wife or you'll be lonely. Once I was 11 years old. Always had that dream like my daddy before me. So I started writing songs, I started writing stories. Something about that glory just always seemed to bore me, cause only those I really love will ever really know me. Once I was 20 years old, my story got told before the morning sun when life was lonely. Once I was 20 years old. Only see my goals, I don't believe in failure, cause I know the smallest voices, they can make it major. I got my boys with me, at least those in favor. And if we don't meet before I leave, I hope I'll see you later. Once I was 20 years old, my story got told. I was writing about everything I saw before me. Once I was 20 years old. Soon we'll be 30 years old. Our songs have been sold. We've traveled around the world and we're still roaming. Soon we'll be 30 years old.
I've already told you, this red wyvern issue is a life or death matter.
It's been hounding our poor livestock around the clock. At this rate, someone's going to get hurt.
Red wyvern. Big, big angry. My tail is dusty burnt. You lot have weapons. Use weapons. Fix problem.
I hear your concerns and understand them. But now I have a question for you. Has this ever happened here before? Why would this red wyvern start making trouble now? Aren't you curious to find out?
Monsters just act on instinct, don't they? What's the use in asking why?
That's not true, though. They're living creatures, the same as you or me. There's always a reason for their actions, just like you all had reasons for coming here today.
Eric is right, which is why we intend to investigate the cause.
Well, I guess if you think that's best.
Red wyvern. Close to our home. Maybe still near.
Thank you for the tip. All right, let's begin the investigation.
It sounded like you wanted them to understand monsters better, Eric.
Well, sure. I guess I do. This probably isn't much of a surprise, but I've never been great at relating to other people. One time, Werner found me feeling low and told me, people are living creatures too, right? That's your field. Ever since, I've started to believe that I was born human for a reason. Learning is about opening a new door and walking through it. I don't want anyone to give up on that. There, Rathalos tracks.
Let's have a look.
These are claw marks.
Still fresh.
These markings are to make its presence here known. Proof of a strong territorial nature. Let's keep moving. The tracks continue ahead.
That looks like...
Something's different. Let's take a look.
These are... Rathalos scorch marks.
It must have been quite agitated. Fighting with some other creature, perhaps?
No Rathalos I've ever seen left marks like this.
An electrical bird. But there shouldn't be any monsters here with thunder properties. Over here! Quickly! They've been electrocuted.
Let's fall back.
What's happening? What has the Rathalos so worked up?
Eric!
The Lachiacris! That's the cause of all this! Here in the east, in the forest no less. I can't believe it! The Lord of the Seas! This is incredible! But how? This is the kind of rush I want the people to understand! I want them to know just how diverse the Scarlet Forest really is! But... if we leave things like this, the disruption to the ecosystem here will only worsen. It's unfortunate. However, in the name of ecological preservation and the safety of nearby settlements, the Guild...
Eric. Let's capture it.
Alive? True, that would allow us to monitor it long term. But even so, the Lagiacris... That's an awfully tall order for...
But that way works better with your philosophy, right?
Thank you. That's very kind of you.
Let's go.
The Guild authorizes the capture of that Lagiacris. I'll do everything I can to back you up.
songs have been sold. We've traveled around the world and we're still roaming. Soon we'll be 30 years old. I'm still learning about life. My woman brought children for me, so I can sing them all my songs and I can tell them stories. Most of my boys are with me, some are still out seeking glory, and some I had to leave behind. My brother, I'm still sorry. Soon I'll be 60 years old. My daddy got 61. Remember life and then your life becomes a better one. I made a man so happy when I wrote a letter once. I hope my children come and visit once or twice a month. Soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I think the world is cold, or will I have a lot of children who can bore me? Soon I'll be 60 years old. Soon I'll be 60 years old. Will I think the world is cold, or will I have a lot of children who can bore me? Soon I'll be 60 years old. Once I was 7 years old, Mama told me, go make yourself some friends or you'll be lonely. Once I was 7 years old. Once I was 7 years old.